Who is a wise man and do with knowledge among you? Let him show of a good conversation.
Out of what?
A good conversation.
So if you have wisdom, how will you speak? You'll have what? You have good conversation. I want y'all to hold on to these things. Read.
His works with meekness and of wisdom.
His works with what?
With meekness of wisdom.
So if it's wisdom, the person will be what?
Meek.
That person will be meek. Are you meek? Can you stand before y'all and say that you are a meek person with a good conversation? Ask yourself that. Read.
But if you have bitter envy,
If you have what?
bitter envy,
these are opposites. This is the contrast. He says, but if you have what?
bitter envy,
Bitter envying. Read.
and strife,
And what?
and strife,
And strife. This is the other type of wisdom. This wisdom brings envying, bitter envying, and what?
and strife
And strife. Read.
in your heart,
And where?
in your heart.
Read.
Esteem not,
Do what?
esteem not,
Don't esteem it. Read.
and lie not against the truth.
Against what?
The truth.
Read.
This wisdom is sent not from above,
Where does it come from?
but is earthly.
But is what?
Earthly.
This wisdom is earthly. But what did he say come from it? He says envying and strife. All right? Hold on to that. What we just read, right? We're coming right back here. Give me Luke chapter 22 and verse 24.
Luke chapter 22 and verse 24. When y'all get there, say hallelujah. Luke 22:24. And there was also a strife among them.
Oh, there was what?
A strife among them.
Wait a minute. So this is the disciples. He said, matter of fact, go back a verse before that.
This is verse 23. Luke 22 and verse 23. And they began to inquire among themselves.
This is the disciples that is talking about. They are inquiring among themselves. Read.
Which of them it was that should do this thing.
Read.
And there was also a strife among them.
There was what?
A strife among them.
There was a strife among them. Now in Proverbs 13:10, it says, only by pride comes contention or strife. So what's happening with the disciples right here?
Pride among them.
These Mashiach boys, right? Read.
And there was also a strife among them.
So there's a strife amongst them. What's amongst them right now? Read.
Which of them should be accounted the greatest?
Which of them shall be counted what?
The greatest.
Greatest. He just said that this other wisdom brought about envying and strife. So what's happening with his disciples? It's something amongst them. It's another type of wisdom that's amongst them right now. Read.
And he said unto them, the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them. And they that exercise authority upon them are called benefactors.
Called what?
Benefactors.
Read.
But you shall not be so. But he that is greatest amongst you, let him be as the younger.
Let him be as what?
The younger.
Read.
He that is chief, as he that do serve.
That do what?
Serve.
That do serve. Now I want y'all to think about this. This thing brings about envy, right? It has envy in it. So you should be careful what you envy. You shouldn't do it at all, but you definitely should be super careful. I want y'all to think about if you were in a herd of cattle and you were one of the cattle, you were one of the cows, right? Follow me. And you saw the one cow getting fed all the good grass and all of the best of the grass. He got grass from Kentucky, the blue, the best of the grass, right? And all of the cows is looking at the one cow and like, why does Elsie get to eat the best grass? What? How does Elsie get to eat the best grass and we don't?
And it started also.
How is Elsie getting the best grass and she getting this preferential treatment? She getting the massages and all of this stuff. And the other cows is sitting there mad, right? And then the master say, look at you, you're jealous. You want to take her place, right? And the other cow, yes, I wanted it. Now she's in there getting fed the best. But she don't know that you're the fatted calf. What happens to the fatted calf? It's the one that's about to be barbecued. Now do you see what you were envying? You couldn't wait to get in this person's stead or in their spot, but you really don't know what they was getting prepared for. Watch what you envying. Stay in your lane and wait. And wait your turn.
That's right.
You don't want to be Elsie no more, right? It's a deep thing to begin. That's why I told you that this thing brings envy and strife into it. So we see the disciples have this thing in them right here. They're doing it. Read.
For whether is greater, he that sit at meat, or he that serves? Is not he that sit at meat? But I am among you as he that serves.
But I what?
But I am among you as he that serves.
What is he telling them now? I'm the greatest among you, and I do what?
I serve.
I serve. They want to be the greatest to be what? To be seen. They only want to be the greatest because they think I know more than him. I'm smarter than him. I have more wisdom than him. So each one of them think that this should be my spot. Soon as Mashiach gone, I'm taking this spot. I'm the guy now. No, do you think you can actually walk in his shoes and do what he's doing? This is what they're fighting about. Read on.
You are they which have continued with me in my temptations. And I appoint unto you a kingdom, as my Father hath appointed unto me, that you may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom. And he sit on thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And the master said, Simon, Simon.
You talking to who now? He talking to Pete, right? Read.
Behold, Satan hath desired you.
Satan has what?
Satan hath desired you.
Why is Satan desiring Peter out of all of them?
That he may sift you as wheat.
So why does he say Peter out of all of them? He's supposed to be the rock. But guess what Peter was trying to do? Peter thought that he was the greatest. It's on me. So when you get this prideful thing in you, this prideful wisdom in you, It's letting you know that Satan is coming directly for you because he already understands what it is that you want and how you want to do it. Because Yah's wisdom is not to be seen of men. It's actually to stay behind the scenes, but you don't get real props when you actually walk in Yah's wisdom, not from the world anyway. The world loves the false wisdom, right? So most people think speaking in big words is wisdom, right? You think you can come into a place and speak over people's heads and say all these words that people gotta go and look the word up, and that makes you wise, right? That's actually opposite of what Yah does. He give it to you plain, raw, and simple, so anybody can understand it. Let's go back to James, chapter 3:13 again.
When y'all get there, say hallelujah. James chapter 3 and verse 13. Who is a wise man?
Who is what?
Who is a wise man?
Who is a wise man? Read.
And endued with knowledge among you. Let him show out of a good conversation.
So again, this wise man would have a good conversation. Read.
His works with meekness of wisdom.
His works is going to be meek. He won't walk in pride. Read.
But if you have bitter envy and strife in your heart, esteem not.
Do what?
Esteem not.
Read.
And lie not against the truth. This wisdom descend not from above, but is earthly.
Is what?
Is earthly, sensual, devilish. For where envying and strife is, there is confusion and evil work.
What is that now?
Where envying and strife is, there is confusion and every evil work.
And every what?
Every evil work.
Every evil work. Again, is envy and strife and this false wisdom. And it brings about every evil work. Hold that. Give me Numbers chapter 16 and verse 1.
Numbers chapter 16 and verse 1. Now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan, and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and On, the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men. And they arose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation.
They were what?
Famous in the congregation.
So we got 250 people in the congregation. These ones are famous or well-renowned. Read.
And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron.
What did it tell us that Moses was in the earth? What type of man was Moses? The what? The meekest, the most humble man in the earth when he was alive. Keep that in mind. Read.
And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, You take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are Kodesh.
He said, what?
You take too much upon you, seeing that all the congregation are Kodesh.
They said, Moses, you trying to do too much. You think you better than all of us. All of us are holy. We should all be in the stead. Every one of us should be where you sit. Make the seat big for all of us. Who put you in charge? Read.
And Yahuwah is above them. Wherefore then lift you up yourselves above the congregation of Yahuwah. And when Moses heard it, He fell upon his face.
He did what?
He fell upon his face.
What does Moses fall on his face? What is he doing?
Right.
Wait a minute. These people is after him. They're trying to take his spot. A spot that he didn't even want. That God practically made him take it. What is this showing about Moses? This man was meek. He's humble. He fell on his face and he's praying for these people. Read.
And he spake unto Korah and unto all his company, saying, even tomorrow Yahuwah will show who are his.
Who what?
Who are his.
Did Moses actually put himself in this stead? He did not. Moses did everything that he could to get out of doing this job. So Moses did not put himself here. God put him there. Read.
Who are his and who is Kodesh, and will cause him to come near unto him, even him whom he hath chosen, for he calls to come near unto him. This do, take you censers, Korah and all his company, and put fire therein, put incense in them before Yahuwah tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom Yahuwah do choose, he shall be Kodesh.
He shall be what?
He shall be Kodesh.
Read.
You take too much upon you, you sons of Levi. And Moses said unto Korah, here, I pray you, you sons of Levi, seem it but a small thing unto you that the Most High of Israel have separated you from the congregation of Israel?
You think this is a small thing that he chose y'all to be the priest? You think this is small that the job that he gave y'all? It's not a small thing, it's a great thing. Read.
To bring you nearer to himself, to do the service of the tabernacle of Yahuwah.
To do what?
To do the service of the tabernacle of Yahuwah.
So even though they was doing the service in the tabernacle, it wasn't enough for them. I want what you are doing. This is coming from envy. I want your position. Read.
And Moses said unto Korah, here I pray you, sons of Levi, seem it but a small thing to you, that the Most High of Israel hath separated you from the congregation of Israel, to bring you nearer to himself, to do the service of the tabernacle of Yahuwah, and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them? And he hath brought you near to him, and all your brethren, the sons of Levi, with you, and seek you the priesthood also?
And see what?
Seek you the priesthood also?
You also want the priesthood, even though Moses really don't want it. But you seeking it because that envy is in him. To make him, I gotta be greater than him. Let me take the spot. Remember, we brought out last week that Moses asked y'all to do what to him? To kill him. Do you really want that spot? Moses said, man, take me out. It's too much for me. You really want this? What verse was that? This is everybody. Finish that verse.
For which cause both you and all your company are gathered together against Yahuwah. And what is that? What is our role? That you murmur against him.
That you what?
That you murmur against him.
They jealous of him as well. They envious of him. Jump down to verse 31.
Verse 31. And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground clave asunder.
That the what?
The ground clave asunder.
So after Moses give all these things, the ground opens up. What does it do?
The ground clave asunder that was under them. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up.
And did what?
And swallowed them up.
The earth opened its mouth and swallowed Korah and all the men that was with him up. Remember, there is a way which seems right to a man, but the end thereof is what? Death. Death. The ground swallowed them up alive. Because they got the worldly wisdom and not the one from Yah. Read.
And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up. and their houses, and all the men that appertain unto Korah, and all their goods.
All what?
All their goods.
They can't even leave nothing behind to their people. They stuff went with them. What does people's stuff do to them? Make them proud, turn their heart against Yah. Let's go back. James chapter 3, verse 17. Let's see pure wisdom, Yah's wisdom.
The book of James, chapter 3, and verse 17. But the wisdom that is from above,
But the what?
the wisdom that is from above,
Read.
is pure.
It is what?
It is pure.
It is pure. Read.
Then peaceable.
Then what?
Then peaceable.
So it is pure and it is peaceable. So if it's actually Yah's wisdom, the situation will not go awry. It will be what? It will be peaceful. But we see a lot of things we handle and it goes awry. That means it's not Yah's wisdom in it. Or somebody is not walking in it because it's always going to go awry. But he said that it is pure and it is peaceful. Can y'all think of anywhere where we have some sort of a strife and the cooler head turns it around?
Abigail.
That's right, absolutely. Let's see. Yep, that's a good one. Give me Genesis chapter 13, verse 8. It says that this wisdom from Yah, it is pure and it is peaceful. Genesis 13 and 8.
The book of Genesis, chapter 13. And verse 8. And Abram said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray you.
Let there be what?
Let there be no strife, I pray you.
So he says that this other wisdom brought from strife. But Abraham said, let there be no strife amongst us. Read.
Between me and you, and between my herd and your herd. For we be brethren.
For we do what?
We be brethren.
Read.
Is not the whole land before you? Separate yourself, I pray you, from me. If you will take the left hand, then I will go to the right. If you depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan. And it was well watered everywhere before Yahuwah destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah.
It was beautiful where he looked at, but way out of the water. Death was there. Notice he chose this. Abraham, on the other hand, handled this pure and peaceful wisdom. He said, let there be no strife amongst us. Finish this off for me. A soft answer turns away wrath. Wow. Abraham could have been the opposite way. Y'all promised all this stuff to me. You get out. I want the best of everything. He could have looked over there and said the same thing. But he's meek. He's humble right here. And he offered this stuff to his nephew over him. He let him take first dibs. You gotta ask, would we do this same thing? Or would the pride say, no, this is mine? So it says that this is pure wisdom and it is peaceful. Go back to James 3:17 again.
James chapter 3 and verse 17. But wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle,
It is what?
Gentle.
It is gentle. Read.
And easy to be entreated.
Easy to be entreated. The gentle is easy to be entreated. Read.
Full of mercy.
Full of what?
Full of mercy.
It is full of mercy. How many of y'all got mercy? Because this wisdom, the real wisdom, it is filled with mercy. And what does mercy mean?
Mercy means that someone does you wrong, you spare them. You know what I'm saying? It's easier to do with family or something like that. It's hard to do.
Yeah. You see, it says, bless them that do good to them that. So he says, this wisdom is full of mercy, right? Keep that in mind. This wisdom right here is full of mercy. And y'all think of anybody that was full of mercy, not Mashiach. Moses, we went to Moses. We'll see somebody else. Genesis chapter 45, verse 1.
Somebody spitefully use. How do you bless them? How do you bless somebody?
You show them mercy. It's talking about when you do good to them, you heap coals of fire on their head. It's like I can't understand why does this guy do this? And he see I hate him. I don't like him. All this type of stuff. I'm gonna show you some instances of this. And this is right here is a great one. Genesis 45, verse 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 45, and verse 1. Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all them that stood by him. And he cried, cause every man to go out from me.
He did what?
He said, cause every man to go out from me.
So Joseph bursts out crying. He knows and recognizes his brothers. What has his brothers done to him? Right. They sold him into slavery. In the midst of this, he now goes to prison for 12 years. He's in a strange land where people he don't know from a can of paint. He don't know none of these people. He's the youngest boy at the time. So he's off in a foreign land. It's bad enough that y'all sold him into slavery, but now he goes to prison for 12 years. How many of y'all think prison is a good place? That's the Tootie guys.
They got their boyfriend.
That's the Tootie guys. No rational man could ever think that this is a good place. Any of y'all been to the county?
It was always visiting.
If you was in there for an hour, that's too long. Any amount of time that it is too much. I don't even agree with animals being in the zoo. Because it's not natural. So Joseph been locked up, sold into slavery, strange land, the whole nine, right? Read.
And he cried, cause every man to go out from me. And there stood no man with him, while Joseph made himself known unto his brothers.
He did what?
And he caused every man to go out he caused every man to go out from me. And there stood no man with him, while Joseph made himself known unto his brothers.
So his brothers didn't recognize him at first Now he's making himself known as to who he is. Read.
And he wept aloud, and the Egyptians and the house of Pharaoh heard. And Joseph said unto his brothers, I am Joseph.
I am who?
I am Joseph.
I am Joseph. Now imagine how his brothers got to feel after they hear him say who he is. Understanding that he has the power right now to destroy them, to kill them. He has the power to do it, and they know what they have done. Because in the chapters before they're saying it, we saw our brother that he was in anguish, and we did this stuff to him anyway. I want you to think about if somebody did this to you. And you suddenly get the power over them. What do you do? Johnny, you said, how do you bless somebody that curse you? Here it is. Read.
And Joseph said unto his brother, come near to me.
Do what?
Come near to me.
Come near to me. I'm going to smack fire on every one of y'all. Ain't that what he's about to say? You sent me to prison? Y'all left me for dead? My daddy think I'm dead. Off of this what y'all done. Read.
And Joseph said unto his brother, come near to me, I pray you, so I can tighten up them jaws. And they came near, and he said, I am Joseph, your brother.
I am who?
I am Joseph, your brother.
Who you did what?
Whom you sold into Egypt.
He had to let them know that. Yeah. It's me. Yep, it's me. Hello.
Now therefore, be not grieved nor angry with yourselves.
Be not what?
Be not grieved or angry with yourselves.
Read.
That you sold me here. Because you sold me here. For the Most High did send me before you.
To do what?
To preserve life.
To do what?
To preserve life.
Preserve life. What did he do to them after this? He blessed them. He took them into his mansion, fed them. Go back to Egypt and get daddy and mama and bring them here. This is blessing them that curse you. And they did him worse than, as they would say, an N-word on the streets. This is low down and dirty. Because they had envy towards him. Because he had the coat. Absolutely. Because of his coat of many colors, even though he egged it on somewhat, they still shouldn't have did this to him. This is blessing them that curse you, doing good to them that despitefully use you. Let's get another instance. Get me 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 15.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 6, and verse 15. Verse 15. And when the servant of the band of Elohim was risen early and gone forth, behold, a host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots.
Read.
And his servant said unto him, alas, my master, how shall we do?
How shall we what?
How shall we do?
He's wondering, he see they are surrounded by armies. He's wondering, we don't stand a chance. There's no way that we can get out of this. We are surrounded by the enemy. Read.
And he answered, fear not.
Do what?
Fear not.
Listen, just as cool as the other side of the pillow. Say, don't be afraid, man. Y'all got us. Read.
So they that be with us are more than they that be with them.
What you mean it's more of us than it is them? It's only me and you. We surrounded by thousands of armies right now. You talking about, don't worry, it's more of us. Read.
And Elisha prayed and said, Yahuwah, I pray you, open his eyes.
So was he blind before this?
Now, this is the third
He says, open his eyes so he can see. Let him see what's really here. Read.
open his eyes that he may see. And Yahuwah opened the eyes of the young man. And he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about him. And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto him. Prayed unto Yahuwah and said, smite this people.
Do what?
Smite this people.
With what?
With blindness.
Make them blind. Smite them with blindness. Notice he don't say kill them, because he could have killed them all on the spot right here. But he says smite them with blindness. Read.
And he smote them with blindness, according to the word of Elisha.
Now remember, this army is around them to kill them. Read.
And Elisha said unto them, this is not the way, neither is this the city. Follow me.
Do what?
Follow me.
So follow me. Read.
And I'll bring you to the man whom you see. But he led them to Samaria.
He led them where?
To Samaria.
So they think they're going somewhere else. They're blind at this moment. He leads them to Samaria. Read.
And it came to pass when they were coming to Samaria that Elisha said, Yahuwah, open the eyes of these people.
Do what?
Open the eyes of these people.
Take the blindness that you put on them, take it off of them and let them see. They think that they are somewhere else. Read.
And Yahuwah opened their eyes, and they saw. And behold, they were in the midst of Samaria.
So they smack dab in the midst of Samaria now. They thought they were somewhere else, but now they know they're in Samaria. Read.
And the king of Israel said unto Elisha, when he saw them, my father, shall I smite him?
Shall I do what?
Shall I smite him?
I said, let's kill them. Let's kill them. I should smite them, right? Read.
Shall I smite him? Shall I smite him? And he answered, you shall not smite him.
You shall what?
You shall not smite him.
What they're trying to smite you and kill you? Read.
Would you not smite, would you smite those whom you have taken captive with your sword, and with your bow? Set bread and water.
Do what?
Set bread and water.
This is an army that was just out to kill them. He's saying to do what to them?
Set bread and water before them.
So he about to feed them. The same people that was trying to kill them. He says, set bread and water before them. Read.
And they may eat and drink and go to their master.
And do what?
And go to their master.
Read.
And he prepared great provision for them. And when they had eaten and drunk, he sent them away.
He had just killed the fatted calf for them and sent them away. Read.
And they went to their master. So the bands of Syria came no more into the land of Israel.
So what did this wisdom that he just displayed really do?
Save a whole bunch of people's lives.
Saved a bunch of people's lives, and it says that they what?
They didn't come back.
They didn't come back to Israel no more after this. But what if he did the other thing? Do you remember the story of the hat? I think I'm saying it right. The Hatfields and the McCoys. Y'all ever heard of that before? What was that about? Two families fighting, and they never would stop. Every time you kill one of ours, we got to come back and kill one of yours. And the family is steadily doing what? Dying off, dwindling, because nobody at one time, at no time can just stop and say, man, if we don't stop this, all of us gonna be dead. And they just keep fighting back and forth. This is the wisdom that Elisha is showing right here. Soft answer, turns away wrath. Feed them, do good to them, and it'll stop. But this would be weak. This is weak to us though, right? Man, lame, man. Lame, bro. Talking about do good to them. But this is a whole different type of thing that you got to get yourself to be able to get this. James 3:17 again.
James 3, peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy.
Full of what?
Full of mercy.
Full of mercy. Again, this thing is full of mercy. Read.
And good fruit. Without partiality.
Without what?
Without partiality.
What is partiality? So what? Favoritism. So you don't call it down the middle, you call it according to the person that you like. Right? Is that a good thing? It's not. Most of us don't think that this is a big thing, but this is actual sin. To show partiality, this is a sin. And it's a big one. Get me Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 17.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 17. You shall not respect persons in judgment.
He said what?
You shall not respect persons in judgment.
He said you shall not respect persons in judgment. You see it all day, every day. The judgment goes to the person that you like the most. And you know it's dead wrong and run with it. How many of y'all do that? I respect the honesty. I respect the honesty. Should have been a lot more hands went up. He's talking about righteous judgment and judgment without partiality. Read that law again.
You shall not respect persons in judgment.
You shall not respect persons in judgment. So do you respect persons in judgment? Yeah. You know what that's to say, right? If y'all tell you not to eat a crumb off the floor, that's a command. So it's a sin, right? Leviticus 19:15.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 15. You shall do no unrighteousness in judgment.
You shall what?
Do no unrighteousness in judgment.
He said, don't do no unrighteousness or some unrighteousness in judgment.
No. None.
That's definite, right? Don't do any unrighteousness when it comes to judgment. You gotta call it down the middle. If you don't call it down the middle for what it is, you're in sin. You're in sin if you do this. One word for this. Give me Romans chapter 2, verse 11.
Romans chapter 2 and verse 11. So there is no respect of persons.
But there what?
There is no respect of persons.
Read.
With Elohim.
With who?
With Elohim.
So if you are acting and walking like Yah, he said there is no respect of persons with Yah. Read.
For as many as have sinned without the law shall also perish without the law. And as many as have sinned in the law shall be judged by the law. For not the hearer of the law are just before Elohim,
Not the hearer, but the what?
but the doer.
But the one that does it. The law states you shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Read.
But the doer of the law shall be justified. For when the Gentiles, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law.
So even though they don't got the actual law, they do it because it's in them. This is called doing what is right. What verse you at? Read.
For when the Gentiles, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law are a law unto themselves, which show the work of the law written.
Will do what?
Show the work of the law written in their heart.
In where?
In their heart.
In their hearts. Read.
Their conscience also bearing witness, and their thoughts, the meanwhile accusing or else excusing one another.
Doing what?
Accusing or else excusing one another.
So we see, again, there is no respect of persons with God. Everything is down the middle. Read James chapter 2, verse 1. You gotta give you an example of it.
James chapter 2 and 1. My brethren, have not the faith of our master Yeshua HaMashiach, the master of esteem, with respect to person?
With what?
With respect to person?
Read.
For if there come unto your assembly a man with a gold ring,
With a what?
a gold ring,
So this man coming here with a gold ring. Read, or you can say if he come in with cardies to make it more Detroit for you. Read.
for if there come unto your assembly a man with cardies, a goodly apparel,
And what?
and an Al-Wasan jacket,
With the apparel. They rocking cardies and the Alva song pit. Read.
and there come in a poor man in vile raiment,
And what kind of raiment?
in vile raiment,
Read.
in case Swiss. And you have respect to him,
And you have what?
respect to him
And you have respect to him.
that wears that clothing,
The what clothing?
the good clothing,
Good clothing. So the sisters will see him and say, "Ooh, I'm gonna fix him a big old plate."
not
Fix him up quick. Ain't that respectful? Why did you get the other guy the big plate? He actually needed more. Shoot, he got on Sachi. Two different guys come in. One got on the goodly apparel, and the other one got on vile apparel. Read.
and say him, sit you here in a good place.
Do what?
Sit you here in a good place.
You can sit at the head of the table. Don't you worry about it. I got your plate.
Not none of these sisters.
No. They were. Well, they didn't want to serve one
They
time.
didn't want to serve one
He
day.
the exception now, girl.
I ain't gonna serve nobody but him.
Read on.
And say to the poor, stand you there.
Do what?
Stand you there.
It ain't even no seats in your life. Stand over there. Two different responses. This ought not to be. This should happen.